07-15, 1988.
07-15, 1988. This guy's more home and family oriented. This guy is more looking after people. Should be a social media person, or at least that's what they would be good at. Someone who knows everybody, very good at connecting people. He should not be as successful monetarily, though. I mean, long term, the first guy would definitely have more money than the second guy long term.
Let me be real with you for a second. When Gary the Numbers guy speaks, this is the kind of conversations you're not supposed to hear. Not because it's fake, but because it actually makes people think. Everyone's been trained to laugh off numerology, pattern recognition, and alternative frameworks as woo-woo nonsense. But the moment you actually listen, and I mean really listen, you start noticing something uncomfortable. The people running the world aren't laughing at this at all. They're using it. Gary Grinberg, aka Gary the Numbers Guy, breaks down how numbers, dates, patterns, and cycles line up with power, money, influence, and timing. Not vibes, not astrology memes, verifiable patterns that tie to real outcomes. Billionaires, empires, collapses, and cycles the mainstream media conveniently never wants to touch. And notice something else. Nobody debunks Gary with data. They just label it as crazy, dismiss it, and move on. That's usually a sign you're standing near something true but inconvenient. This conversation isn't about believing blindly. It's about pattern recognition, independent thought, and realizing the world doesn't operate on the surface level explanations we're spoon-fed. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So before we get into it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're here to actually learn how the system works instead of pretending it doesn't exist, comment down below numbers. And let's break down this without fear, without censorship, and without apologizing. Let's get in.
One brief test, and it's all in good fun.
Sure.
And then we'll, just to kind of validate it even further, and then we'll get into how people can use it in all the best ways. But so I'll give you a birthday of someone, and I just want you to give me scale 1 to 10, how successful you think they'll be, maybe. Okay. And then
you do understand if they're young, then I could see it in the future success. So it's like, okay, you can't actually verify that yet. If it's an old person, it's a lot easier to do because they lived a lot of their life already.
So 8/18/1988.
8/18/1988. 7 life path, extremely smart. Oh yeah, he's gonna have money, no doubt about it.
Scale 1 to 10, where would you put him at?
I think he has a possibility to be at an 8.5 when it comes to money. I see the money, and the money should have started coming to him about 2016, 2017. That's when he started planting the seeds for what he's building in the future. But yeah, 100% he's going to have a bag, but unfortunately he's not going to have it his whole life. Once he hits his 60s, it's not going to be as good. But whoever that person is, enjoy the next 20 years, Pip. You definitely got a position of power then.
07-15, 1988.
07-15, 1988. This guy's more home and family oriented. This guy is more looking after people. Should be a social media person, or at least that's what they would be good at. Someone who knows everybody, very good at connecting people. He should not be as successful monetarily, though. I mean, long term, the first guy would definitely have more money than the second guy long term. But this guy's way.
What would you rate this guy out of 10, like monetary success?
He has 2 8s in his back end of his birthday, so that's good for money. But if I gave the last guy 8.5, I'll probably give this guy 7 to 7.5. But this guy will end up being more influential than the first guy. And he's going to be more influential as he gets older. The first guy you gave me, he's going to be on top in his mid-50s, and then it's not going to be as good anymore. This guy right here, he's going to be very, very influential even in old age. Plus, he looks younger, too.
So you said 6.5?
No, 7.5.
7.5. And then first
influence, I would say 8.5, 9. But that's some people are late bloomers. He's going to get there.
07-16-2001.
Listen, brother. My advice to you, don't trust anybody. Don't allow anyone to stab you in the fucking back, because that's a problem that snakes have. You're very loyal to people. You look out for people, but then people stab you in the back as a snake. And I hate that fucking word in the influencer world. You got snake. You got snake. Snakes are some of the most loyal people I know. I have never been, quote unquote, snaked by a snake. But we do know that you look out for people who are good for you. But if someone crosses you, you're going to try to get the son of a bitch back. That's how snakes operate. Snakes are very vindictive. And that's why people know you fuck with me too long, I might do something. So at the end of the day, I think that your life is going to take a big change in your 30s. I think that's when you're going to maybe even run for politics.
What would you rate success monetarily out of 10?
I mean, listen, $1 million isn't a lot of money anymore. I would easily say that by the time you're but with the way the financial system is going, by the time you're about 33 years old, if you don't have 80 mil, I'll be surprised.
So maybe like a 7.5, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I don't think that's not your main goal in life, bro. You got to learn as much as possible. You're not like all these sevens who are already power hungry. Power hungry. Now, I could tell the type of women you like. You're more into athletic women, 100%, because that's what eights and snakes like. They like them more in the athletic type, the fitness model type. That's exactly what someone with your type of birthday would like, correct?
I'd say so.
Yeah, of course. I don't miss. I just met this guy today.
Interesting how Gary blindly represented accurately each individual Jack has given with those birthdays alone. Even rating them monetarily is insane. But as he just stated, money shouldn't be the only goal. And that couldn't be any closer to the truth when Gary uses this tool not just for financial gain, but to amplify his life to the maximum, to create a path that is not always perfect, but at very least a path to look out for troubles in the future. Let's continue.
I'll go through these next four pretty quick. So 05, 07, 1998.
05, 07, 1998. Smart guy for a tiger. Tigers are usually the athletic ones. Tigers are, you can't even spell the word fighter without tiger. So like pretty much the same. That's how the English language is so on point. Andrew Tate is a tiger. Islam is a tiger. Think about it. The Prophet Muhammad was born in the tiger year. And it's a very masculine religion, no matter what you think about it. So some people call him the warlord Muhammad because that's what they did. They went to war all the time. So tigers tend to be very aggressive, very masculine, like the alpha male type. But because he's born in the 7th, he's going to have some brains. Most tigers are morons. You can't have everything in life. You can't have everything in life. Look at Tom Cruise, good-looking dude, has a bag, looks very young. Imagine if he was smart too. It wouldn't be fair. So the whole system is based off, you have some strong points and some weak points. But that birthday right there is really good for intelligence and looks and being an athlete because he's a tiger and also born in the 7th. And that numerology from the 7th gives him some brain power. So sometimes you have numerology and astrology birthdays that complement each other. He should be good at social media too. Good talker, good at cracking jokes, funny guy. But he's not good in relationships, like awful. And that guy should never get married. So make sure you tell him I said that.
What's that one's life path?
3.
What would their success level be monetarily, you think? Out of 10?
5, 6.
5, 6?
5, 6. If he's going to make it, it's going to be through social media or through being a comedian of some sorts. I mean, listen, he might not be the richest guy in the world, but he has other advantages, if you know what I mean.
July 8th, 2005.
July 8th, 2005. This would be a workaholic. This is someone who works a lot, someone whose money is up and down, very loyal. Is this a friend of yours?
Mm-hmm.
And that person you can trust. Rooster and snake that's the best relationship for a snake. Rooster. My wife's a rooster. I'm a snake. And again, it worked for over 20 years. And it's going to continue to work for all you haters out there. But when it comes down to it, this is a loyal person, someone you can trust. I would put his monetary probably about 7.5. But he's going to have to outwork everybody else.
Is he 22?
You can make that argument that he is. He definitely has 22 energy, but I would call him a 22-4 because he can go back and forth between both.
05, 20, 1996.
A manipulative guy or a woman, whoever that is. Very manipulative, good looking.
This is a woman, I'll say that. This is
very manipulative, calculating, smart as hell, and she has the looks to go with it. So if you can't tell she's manipulative, it's because she's very good at it.
Success level?
Depends what her manipulation level is, in all honesty. But she's going to be one of those people who are constantly in the game. Because pretty much every birthday you're giving me is like a 5 or an 8 or a 3 and stuff like that. And these are what I expect around social media and things of that nature. Success level, that one would be a little bit more difficult to say. How blunt you want me to be?
Sure.
She has an addictive personality, and she has to get past that addictive personality. Guys have been some trouble in her life, some stability from that point. Next year is going to be a tough year because that's their enemy year. But overall, very intelligent person, and I would say she should always trust her gut. If there's something wrong, she'll get knots in her stomach, and she will be able to validate that herself.
Maybe like a 4, 5, 6, 7. What would you put her?
5.5.
5.5?
5.5. But, she could get married to the right guy. With women, it's a little bit more difficult because if they're good looking, anything is possible for a woman who has good looks. For a guy, I hate to break it to Clav, but, that shit fades for a guy.
What Gary laid out here isn't about superstition. It's about structure. It's about recognizing that the world runs on patterns, whether you acknowledge them or not. The elites don't dismiss this stuff. They weaponize it. And the average person, they are told to mock it so they never look deeper. That's the real divide. Not left versus right, not red versus blue, but aware versus asleep. You don't have to accept everything at face value. The point is to verify, observe, and think for yourself, which is exactly why conversations like these get buried, clipped out of context, or labeled dangerous, quote unquote. Not because they're wrong, but because they make people harder to control. If this resonated, drop a comment. Tell me what pattern stood out to you the most, or whether this confirms something you've already noticed in your own life. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is still stuck thinking everything is random and accidental. And I'll see you on the next one.